What up? It's me, ya boy. Oh, we back with another one of these, and oh dear, I don't even remember where we are. This is so many. It's looking at all of this all like in succession day to day. It does kind of feel like a TV series. It does kind of feel like it ought to have like, what is it, segments, like seasons? I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll organize these in a way that's like season 1, season 2. I don't know. I don't know. Dear Lord. So I was informed yesterday that I guess my microphone's been making a little bit of noise anytime I put my hands on my desk. So I tried to fix that by putting an oven mitt down. I don't know if this will work or help or whatever, but you know, you guys can let me know if that makes it any better or worse. It might. Yeah. Right. Oh, I watched some nonsense last night, and I don't. I know all the spoilers. It's tomorrow's gonna be fun. So I hope you guys do subscribe and hit the bell and see when we go live tomorrow. We are going live at 9 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And oh boy, you are not prepared. I promise. I promise you are not prepared. The tea. The tea that is going to be ready for tomorrow. Just make sure for tomorrow, listen, I know today is going to have a lot in it, but tomorrow, save your alcohol, save your booze for tomorrow. I know Steve is going live with some shenanigans today also, but tomorrow, I'm telling you, please. NonSeq lawsuit season 1 episode 5, the address. Yes, Seshi, yes. Yeah, last night broke me a little bit. I'm so glad I was like skipping through because like, oh god. Alright, opposition in brief. No, okay, here's the hearing. This is how I'm finding and remembering where I am. Yes, the supplemental and the affidavits. That's right, we are at enter player 3, 4, 5, whatever number. Enter Ben. Ben's coming in with like the whoosh, the side. Like you didn't see him coming. You didn't see him coming, and then he just ran up the side and just on nothing but net. Oh, save your boobs. Not my boobs. So we're on number 38, and yes, Ash Scott there's some shenanigans going on with R and Raw. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know most of what's gone on. I've only seen like snippets of what's happened. I may or may not swing by. I don't know. I'm gonna be out today once this is over, but I am a little crunched on time, so we'll see. We shall see. So, Declaration of Benjamin Potts. The audio sounds better. Okay, good. I did my best. I have an oven mitt. I don't know. Listen, I'm a professional and an adult. How dare you, sir? I don't know. My feelings were so hurt from this stream the other day that Kyle was on because the gay felon decided he didn't want to see me naked. I don't recall ever offering, but I don't recall ever offering anything along those lines. So I don't know why he got that idea in his head that was a thing, but you know, whatever. Weird. Oh, I do have. Where are my mustaches? That's a good question. I think they're in the other room. Also, update on my plants. I gotta show you guys. You guys have to see this because I'm stalling because I don't want to read any more of this. But I do love Ben, so I don't really want to stall too much. Look at my bean plant. Oh, I gotta fix my. What is wrong with my couch? Damn it, Puck. There we go. Look at my bean plant. Look at this thing. It's huge. And I got little plants. I got little babies. Look at it. They're ready to get replanted. I'm so excited. And I think this is a zucchini plant. And it's doing pretty well. Look at that. I got those little guys. I need to spin these guys around. Right? I don't even remember which plant is which though because I'm stupid. And I didn't label them. So I don't remember what everything is. I do know that this little tray now, look at this. It's all lettuce. It's all lettuce coming up. Aren't they cute? So excited. You guys saw my tomato plant the other day. It's doing good. These guys haven't sprouted yet. And I got like 3 more trays. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh God. Yeah, no, there's some stuff we're gonna talk about on Friday. There were some shenanigans that happened the other night, and like just some things that were just absolutely bizarrely ridiculous. Like I can't. We'll have to talk about it on Friday. I don't want to take it over here, but geez. What? If I'm selling nudes, where's all my money? I'm getting ripped off. What is this? Also, why would anybody expect a gay man to spend money on a woman's nudes? My poor feelings. I'm so hurt. Oh, my heart. I don't know. Okay, whatever. I don't know what they're on about. Let's forget about that craziness and look at this craziness, which is still a part of that craziness. It's all connected. I don't know. Right, the bean plant? Yo, my bean plant! Hey, you guys want to see my bean? Is that how that works? Is that why they think I'm offering nudes? Chess takes a lot better plants than her digital animals. Listen, it's not, my plants aren't a part of a legal fighting ring that makes me money as a 10-year-old child. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so let's check out what Ben has to say. North Carolina, Guilford County, Stephen McRae plaintiff versus Kyle Russell Curtis defendant in the General Court of Justice, Superior Court Division 19, CVS 8163, Declaration of Benjamin Potts. It's good to see you, Athens. I'm glad you're got some time off, or whatever it is that you're up to. I just saw that you actually made it to one, so I'm happy to see you. I, Benjamin Potts, duly sworn, state as follows. I am over the age of 18. I am competent to make this affidavit. My current address is 2543 Anna Garrison Road, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28263. I am the owner of the property. Okay. For anybody who doesn't know, for anybody who's joining us now, and anybody who doesn't know who Ben is, last time on Dragon Ball Z, Kyle submitted a lease that had Benjamin Potts' name on it, saying that he was leasing or had a rental agreement with Benjamin Potts, who was his boyfriend at the time, at the Anna Garrison Road in Charlotte address, which is where he said he was living, which is why his the service wasn't proper. So Benjamin Potts has come forward to make a declaration in this case. I met the defendant in the case, Kyle Russell Curtis, in or about June 2019. When I met Mr. Curtis, he told me he was living in an apartment in Greensboro, but that his lease was coming to an end. Since that time, Mr. Curtis has lived with his... Oh, Helios, thank you for becoming a member. Since that time, Mr. Pucks in the chat for new members, please and thank you. Since that time, Mr. Curtis has lived with his mother at 1532 Providence Church Road, Pleasant Garden, North Carolina, 27313. To the best of my knowledge, he lives there now. Since that time, Mr. Curtis has lived with his mother at 1532 Providence. I just read that. Tricky. A Cheshire Goblin as a One Piece character. Make a note of that and remind me when I do an art stream, because I'll do that. I'll pull up some references and we'll do a One Piece version of the Goblin, because I like that. That's cool. The depositions are actually already available, so I'm not going to read through all of the depositions. That would be a little bit excessive, in my opinion. Mr. Curtis did stay at my home on numerous occasions, sometimes for extended periods of time, as much as a week or so. However, he did not live at my address on Arragansett Road in Charlotte. I never authorized Mr. Curtis to state that my residence in Charlotte was his permanent address. I specifically told Mr. Curtis that he did not live at my address and that I would not sign a document saying that he did. So this is Ben saying that the signature that Kyle presented on a lease agreement, he never signed. On June 18th, 2020, Mr. Curtis sent me the following text message, quote, "When I come Monday, I need you to go with me to a notary to get a document signed saying that I lived at your address from December to February." I responded that it would be perjury because Mr. Curtis had not lived with me and had not paid rent. A true and accurate copy of the text message exchange is attached as Exhibit A. I never signed a lease with Mr. Curtis, and I never agreed to allow Mr. Curtis to live at my home in Charlotte. Oh, is that what they're referring to? Okay. I'll explain. During the fundraiser, when Sean's fundraiser first went out, there was like a joking offer that I was willing to do like pinup photos that were like a bikini photo shoot. It never actually came to fruition. It was an idea that never like got off the ground, and the idea was changed, as 82 Production says, to Reds in a bikini. So it switched around, right? So I guess they're reaching to try and get me naked for some reason. I don't know. Weird. The nudes is her $500 Patreon with bikini themed calendar, but Chesh is 17. Bad idea. There is a $500 Patreon reward, and it is the picture that it's titled Scam. And it is the picture that got Team Skeptic's stream nuked during a live stream when he showed it. So, if you're interested in that. Attached as Exhibit 9, I never signed a lease with Mr. Curtis, and I never agreed to allow Mr. Curtis to live at my home in Charlotte. Attached as Exhibit B is a copy of a document entitled, quote, "Rental Agreement Month to Month," end quote, that I understand Mr. Curtis has submitted to the court. That document was not prepared by me. I did not sign that document. The signature purporting to be mine is a forgery. Attached as Exhibit C is a document entitled Affidavit of Residence that I understand has also been submitted to the court by Mr. Curtis. That document was not prepared by me. I did not sign that document. The signature purporting to be mine is a forgery. Pursuant to Emergency Directive 5, I affirm under the penalties of perjury that foregoing representations are true. The 9th September 2020. There's Benjamin Pott's signature. Now, if you happen to recall, let me open the, here's the exhibits. Exhibit A, the text message. Kyle. Well, all right. What favor can I do for you? When I come Monday, I need you to go with me to a notary and get a document signed saying that I lived at your address from December to February. Isn't that perjury? ? No, I did. Not full time, and you didn't pay rent. Laughing emoji. Never mind. Rolly eyes. Ha ha. Oof. Oof. B. Exhibit B. Rental agreement. Dated July 15th, 2019. Agreement between Benjamin Potts, owner, and Kyle Curtis. We actually read through this earlier, so I'm not going to read through it again. I'm pretty sure we've read it twice at this point, so I'm just going to skip through it real quick. We've all seen this. And there's the signature. for Benjamin Potts. Now, if you look at this signature, and you look at the signature on the affidavit, those are not the same signature. That is not the same handwriting. I mean, Potts is closer, I guess. But the Ben is pretty not close. Nah, Potts isn't even close. And Exhibit C. So Exhibit C is the affidavit of residence. February 10th, 2020, to whom it may concern, I, Benjamin Potts, formally acknowledge Kyle Curtis as living at the street address of 2543 Anna Garrison Road, City of Charlotte, State of North Carolina, 28263, since July 16th, 2019. I swear and affirm under penalty of perjury that facts set forth in this statement are true and accurate. Sincerely, Benjamin Potts. And again, this... Now, if you look at these signatures here, you've got this signature, that signature, and this signature. This one is Ben. These ones are the ones that Kyle submitted. Now, something interesting that you guys might get a bit of a kick out of. I incidentally did this cute little stream quite some time ago. So let's see if I can find it here. Let me just scroll away. Should be... No? There's the hearing. Oh, here we go. Let's take a look, shall we? Yeah, the signatures are the same. Helios for 5 said the offer was Chesh Bikini Calendar, then it changed to Red's Bikini Calendar, then it changed to donate to stop Reds from making that calendar. It really, at the end, it changed from enticement to a threat. Yes, correct. I remember. God, it's been, how long has that even been? I don't even know. I was still pretty new at that point, but lordy. But yeah, that's they're the same. Those are the same signature. So he's saying that those two signatures are not his, and that here is his signature, which, doesn't match those other two signatures. So that's what Ben had to say and his affidavit. So let's take a look here and see what Megan Joyce had to say. So who is this now? Affidavit. North Carolina, Guilford County, Stephen McRae, plaintiff versus Kyle Russell Curtis, defendant, in the General Court of Justice, Superior Court Division 19, CVS 8163, Declaration of Megan Joyce. I, Megan Joyce, being duly sworn, states, I got the hiccups, states as follows. I am over the age of 18. I am competent to make this declaration. I am employed as a legal assistant at Revolution Law Group. I understand that the defendant has submitted certain redacted credit card statements in this case as proof of address. I was asked to review those credit card statements, specifically the barcode above the mailing address on each statement. I researched the barcodes on the United States Postal Service website, specifically the UPS defines the intelligent mail barcode as a 65-bar Postal Service TM barcode used to sort and track letters and flats. It allows mailers to use a single barcode to participate in multiple Postal Service programs simultaneously, expands mailers. End quote. Oh, sorry, not end quote, sorry. That's the mailer's ability to track individual mail pieces and provides greater mail stream availability, end quote. This definition can be found here. The UPS website has a barcode decoder/encoder service that allows the user to input the 65-digit barcode to the decoder, which will translate the information contained in the barcode. The decoder/encoder can be found at this link. I examined the two credit card statements submitted by the defendant. These were filed twice by defendant, ECF number 20 at 13 to 14 and ECF 31.1 at 11 to 12. Copies of the two statements are attached as Exhibit A. Using the decoder on the USPS website, I was able to enter a 65-character barcode string and have it decoded. Printouts from the website after the barcodes were entered, including the barcode character string, and the decoded information are attached as Exhibit B. I feel like I need the a sound clip of Phoenix Wright popping up saying, "Hold it!" As shown in Exhibit B, the two barcodes correspond to a delivery point zip code of 27313, which does not match the zip code of 28263 printed in the address field. Zip code 27313 is a zip code for Pleasant Garden, North Carolina. Zip code 27313 is also the zip code that was used when the summons and complaint were sent by certified mail, ECF number 7. In addition, when studying the address on the statements in Exhibit A, it appears to be in two different fonts. The name is printed in all capital letters in one font, while the address in title case letters is in a different font. The C in Curtis does not match the C in Charlotte. The R in Curtis does not match the R in Road. It appears from these facts that the statements attached as Exhibit A were altered. Pursuant of Emergency Directive 5, I affirm under penalties of perjury that foregoing representations are true. The 8th of September 2020, Megan Joyce. Certificate of Service. So this is somebody who works for the court, if I'm not mistaken, if that's what that said. And they looked at they were looking at or they work for the mail service. The two. They're looking at the Discover statements. And they're saying that the R here is, let me zoom in for you guys. They're saying that this appears to be altered. This is all capitals, but this is not typed in all capitals. This R here isn't the same style of font as this here. The C here is a different style of font than the C here, right? The barcode here is what they're saying. This barcode is you can scan this and it'll tell you where it's supposed to go. Right? You don't have to use the address that's written down. You can use this because, we live in an age of technology, so why wouldn't we make life easier for ourselves? Because of course we do. So they're saying that this barcode shows Pleasant Garden, not Anna Garrison Road. So let's zoom out a little further. Zoom back out again, I should say. They're also saying that this one here, if I'm not mistaken, there was actually also a change for the statement periods, but I don't think we've gotten to that yet. Spoilers. Same thing here. R doesn't match that R. C doesn't match this C. Sorry. Intrigue Finance got it. The Megan is for the Revolution Law Group, which is Steve's lawyer. So that's Megan is from the firm that Steve hired, and they examined the barcodes. Here is the screenshot of what happened when they input the code. So you have reached the Intelligent Mail Barcode Decoder page. Using this tool, you can convert an Intelligent Mail barcode to its numeric equivalent. First, convert the barcode to the equivalent F, T, A, or D as described in the legend below. Then type the character. This was the character. Are you guys ready? T, T, F, 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 T, D, T, D, D, F, A, F, F, A, A, D, D, A, A, F, A, F, A, D, A, D, A, A, D, A, T, A, D, A, T, D, D, F, T, F, D, T, T, F, F, A, T, D, D, T, D, A, D, F, T, T, A, D, F, A, D, A, T, D. Boom! This is the legend, by the way. So if you wanted to decode this is the legend. You can do it yourself. So if you're interested, you can use this to double check on your own. All of this is independently verifiable. You don't have to trust me. You don't have to trust the court documentation. You can look it up yourself if you really want to. Did I miss a T? No, I thought I did it so well. God damn it. Boo. Boo. Dottie is going to be here tomorrow night. Then here's the other one. So this is DATAAFTA FDAD TFAFFD TADAA FTAAD TFDDA TFFDA FFFD FFAD FFFTDA TD FFAATAA TFAD. This lawsuit is the Non Sequitur Show lawsuit. And Exploratory Minds, thank you for becoming a member. Pucks in the chat. So, no! How dare you guys? How dare you? So, response and opposition brief. So, these are the affidavits that were submitted. Now, here's the brief and an explanation for, you had the tea in my cup. Oh, thanks. North Carolina, Guilford County, Stephen McCrae plaintiff versus Kyle Russell Curtis defendant. In the General Court of Justice, Superior Court Division 19, CVS 8163, response and opposition to defendant motion to strike. Plaintiff Stephen McCrae, through his undersigned counsel, submits this response in opposition to defendant's motion to strike. Defendant's motion to, Dottie is going to be on to talk about some of the shenanigans that went on the other night, which are related to this case. So if you want to be able to sort of understand a little bit more about the shenanigans that have been going on, understanding the case will be helpful for most of the jokes we're going to make. But defendant's motion serves to highlight the procedural unfairness of this case. The complaint in this matter was filed in August 2019, alleging how defendant had wrongfully and fraudulently obtained complete control of an enterprise he and plaintiff had collaborated to create, how defendant used that control to shut plaintiff out of the enterprise, and how defendant stole all of the revenue earned. More than a year has now passed. The defendant has managed to ignore court orders and escape any consequences for his actions. By ignoring his legal obligations, defendant has essentially been able to file 2 briefs in support of his motion to set aside ECF NOS 2031, file a reply and affidavit in support of his second motion to set aside, even though he had missed the reply brief deadline with respect to the first motion, ECF number 33, and escape the consequences for his contempt of the court's entry of partial judgment by default because the court was unable to hold hearings during the time hearings were suspended from the COVID pandemic, ECF number 26. As shown in affidavits recently filed with the court, defendant has submitted forged and falsified records to the court in an increasingly desperate attempt to concoct a story that he did not live where he was served. See ECF NOS 38 and 39. Ooh. Yeah, actually, if you check out Intrigue Feline's link there, if you want to read her blog, definitely read her blog. There's 2 parts to it. Read both of them. They're very good briefings of what I'm going through now. If you aren't able to read them, you can find readings of what they had wrote on my channel also. I'm sure Feline will, if they would be so kind to drop those links. Thank you. Defendant has submitted forged and falsified records to the court in an increasingly desperate attempt to concoct a story that he did not live where he was served. See ECF numbers 38 and 39. Defendant has disrespected the court and made a mockery of this proceedings. His games should no longer be tolerated. The business court rules do not prohibit the supplemental affidavit. Defendant cites Business Rule 7.5, which states that, quote, all materials including affidavits on which a motion or brief relies must be filed with a motion or brief, end quote. Defendant asked the court to read into this rule a prohibition on filing affidavits until they are filed with a motion brief, ECF number 37 at 2, but the rule itself contains no such prohibition. Next, defendant refers to the affidavit as, quote, the equivalent of a surreply, end quote, and cites cases where motions for leave to file surreply briefs were denied, ECF number 7 at 3. We read through these last time. However, the affidavit is not a surreply and merely responds to the allegations set forth in defendant's late filed reply affidavit. Moreover, the defendant's reply brief was not limited to, quote, matters newly raised in the responsive brief, end quote. The court has discretion to strike it, BCR 7.7. The recording and video linked in the affidavit are not inadmissible. So, last time on Dragon Ball Z, the defendant, Kyle, had put forth that the recordings of him saying he was served were inadmissible in court. Defendant complains that the audio recordings and YouTube links cited in plaintiff's affidavit are inadmissible because they are not authenticated. Both audio recordings include the defendant actively taking part in group discussions that were open and public. Both were authenticated by plaintiff as true and accurate recordings, ECF number 35, paragraph 8 and 9. To the extent the court deems it necessary for completeness, attached are declarations from persons who made the recording and saved them in a Google Drive where they are linked, Exhibit A. Similarly, the YouTube video is available on a publicly accessible website that includes video of defendant discussing the case. The video link remains live. If defendant claims that recordings or videos are inaccurate, he is free to dispute that it is his voice in the recordings, dispute that it is his voice and images in the video, dispute that the recordings are accurate, argue that the recordings or video have been altered, or any other grounds he may have to dispute them. This is not a circumstance where internet sources are being introduced as evidence in a manner where the defendant does not have an adequate opportunity to contest the content. Here, it is the defendant's own words and images at issue. Notably, while one of the recordings and the YouTube video were both cited months ago in the case, ECF number 22 at paragraph 7, defendant has made no attempt to dispute the authenticity in any of his affidavits. So basically, hey, these recordings were brought up before, and at no point has Kyle ever said that it's not him or made any kind of dispute to these until now. And what he's disputing isn't even something that makes sense for him to dispute. The supplemental affidavit responds directly to the defendant's reply affidavit. Defendant's final complaint is that plaintiff's supplemental affidavit does not reply to new arguments in defendant's reply affidavit. In his reply affidavit, defendant for the first time states that he, quote, first received a copy of the complaint several months later, ECF number 33.1 at paragraph 5. Plaintiff's affidavit shows that defendant's new position, which he has only just now brought up more than a year after he was served, is directly contradicted by defendant's prior public statement that he was going to respond, he was going to and was set to rumble, ECF number 35 at paragraph 8a. He had not actually moved, ID at paragraph 8b. He, quote, missed a filing date, ID at paragraph 9a. He had the original papers that I was served, which included an attachment part, which presumably refers to the summons, ID at paragraph 9b, and he failed to appear and missed the filing deadline, ID at paragraph 10. None of these statements are consistent with the defendant's current position that he only learned of the complaint from a video and that he never received a copy until, quote, several months later. If any of that were true, the first thing defendant would have complained about is that he never knew about the deadline, so he could not have properly responded, or so he could not properly respond. Conclusion: this is savage. For the reasons set forth above, plaintiff requests that defendant's motion to strike be denied, respectfully submitted on the 9th day of September 2020. Certificate of compliance, certificate of service. Bruh. Bruh. That was number 40, by the way, for anybody following along at home. And here's the exhibit that was referenced. Exhibit A. North Carolina, Guilford County, Stephen McRae, plaintiff versus Kyle Russell Curtis, defendant, General Court of Statute Declaration of David McGinnis. I, Dave McGinnis, being duly sworn, states as follows: I am over the age of 18. I am competent to make this declaration. On September 23rd, 2019, I logged into a public conversation on Discord, which is an online text, voice, and video chat service that allows users to communicate online. I recorded the audio conversation, and a true and accurate recording can be found at this link. Pursuant to Emergency Directive 5, I affirm under the penalties of perjury that foregoing representations are true the 9th day of September 2020. Dave. Hey! McGinnis coming out! We didn't just get a surprise Ben, we got a surprise David. Oh, God. North Carolina, Guilford County, Stephen McRae, plaintiff versus Kyle Russell Curtis, defendant in the General Court of Justice, Superior Court Division, 19 CVS 8163, declaration of Peter Harrington. I, Peter Harrington, being duly sworn, state as follows: I am over the age of 18 and am competent to make this declaration. I, on October 6, 2019, logged into a public conversation on Discord, which is an online text, voice, and video chat service that allows users to communicate online. I recorded the audio conversation, and a true and accurate recording can be found at this link. Pursuant of Emergency Directive 5, I affirm that under penalties of perjury that the foregoing representations are true. This is the 10th day of September. Peter Harrington. Bro, these are all, like, not only did Kyle's boyfriend / ex-boyfriend at the time that he forged the signature of come forward to be like, yeah, hold on a minute, fuck you, but also McGinnis and Peter, hey, actually, no, fuck you. Dude, you can't get... Bruh. Big bruh moments. Alright, let's see what Kyle's lawyer had to say in response to this. State of North Carolina, Guilford County, Stephen McRae, plaintiff versus Kyle Russell Curtis, defendant in the General Court of Justice, Superior Court Division, 19 CVS 8163. Motion to strike the declarations of Benjamin Potts and Megan Joyce, ECF numbers 38 and 39. Pursuant to Business Court Rule 7.5 and North Carolina Rule of Civil Procedure 12F, defendant Kyle Russell Curtis respectfully moves the court for an order to strike the declarations of Benjamin Potts and Megan Joyce filed on September 9th, 2020, ECF numbers 38 and 39. So if you remember from last time, they had requested that anything be added before, like, by the 9th. So you had until the end of the 9th to submit anything. So they filed things for the 9th, and now they're like, no, strike these. The basis for this motion are detailed in the accompanying brief. The alternative, if this court is not inclined to strike the declarations, Mr. Curtis respectfully requests that the hearing on his amended motion to set aside be continued, and that he be allowed an opportunity to respond to and refute the allegations in the declarations. Pursuant to Business Court Rule 7.3, the undersigned counsel consulted with counsel for Mr. McRae about the motion to strike, and he opposes the motion. This is the 10th day of September 2020. Certificate of service. So this little blurb right here. Kyle's lawyer contacted Steve's lawyer about the motion here, and they were like, no, why would we do that? No. Brief in support. State of North Carolina, Guilford County, Stephen McRae, plaintiff versus Kyle Russell Curtis, defendant in the General Court of Justice, Superior Court, Division 19 CVS 8163. Brief in support of motion to strike the declaration of Benjamin Potts and Megan Joyce, ECF numbers 38 and 39. Pursuant to Business Court Rule 7.2, defendant Kyle Russell Curtis submits this brief in support of his motion to strike the declarations of Benjamin Potts and Megan Joyce filed on September 9th, 2020, ECF numbers 38 and 39. Relevant background. We can't get Kyle any Burger King commissionery. He can't have, there's no BK in prison. Relevant background. This is Mr. Curtis's second motion to strike improper late filings made by plaintiff Stephen McRae. Mr. Curtis has moved to set aside the entry of default and partial default judgment entered against him in this case, ECF numbers 19 and 17. Mr. Curtis filed his amended motion to set aside on July 28th, 2020. ECF number 30. Mr. McRae filed a response on August 11th, 2020, ECF number 32, and Mr. Curtis filed a reply on August 24th, 2020, ECF number 33. After the close of briefing, the court noticed a hearing on the amended motion to set aside for September 11th, ECF number 34. On September 3rd, Mr. McRae filed an affidavit which he styled as supplemental affidavit of Stephen McRae in opposition to defendant's amended motion to set aside, ECF number 35. Mr. Curtis moved to strike that affidavit on the grounds that it, 1, was improper civil reply for which Mr. McRae did not seek leave for court, and 2, contained inadmissible evidence, and 3, did not address new arguments raised by Mr. Curtis's reply brief. On September 9th, less than 48 hours before the hearing on Mr. Curtis's motion to set aside, Mr. McRae submitted 2 declarations in opposition to that motion. Mr. Curtis moves to strike those declarations. So, less than 48 hours before the hearing, that's the day they requested that everything be submitted by. Argument. The declaration should be struck because they are not timely. But you're not supposed to use the last day that we requested you submit things by. The declarations submitted by Mr. McRae are improper and, like the supplemental affidavit, were filed without leave of court. Under the Business Court Rule, proper motion practice consists of only a motion and accompanying brief, a response, and a reply. See Business Court Rule 7.5, 7.6, 7.7, quote, all materials, including affidavits on which a motion or brief relies, must be filed with a motion or brief. BCR, Business Court Rule 7.5, emphasis added. As the court has continuously explained, surreply briefs are not permitted by the court's rule and generally are disfavored. Worley v. Moore, numbers 15 CBS 1316, 2016, WL 8453484 at asterisk 2, North Carolina Superior Court, July 14th, 2016, denying a motion for leave of a surreply. So this is just restating what they had already stated by saying that this is a surreply. Of course, Steve's lawyer said that this isn't a cert reply, so none of this applies anyway, right? Here, Mr. McRae filed 2 declarations after the close of briefing without even attempting to seek leave of court. These declarations are improper under Business Court Rule 7.5, which requires affidavits to be submitted with a brief. Here, Mr. McRae had a chance to submit the declarations with his brief in response to Mr. Curtis's amended motion to set aside, but failed to do so. Instead, he waited until the 11th hour, again, less than 48 hours before the hearing, to file the declarations, and the declaration should be struck from the record. The thing that kills me about this is that this was the time they requested things be submitted by, and now they're complaining that things were submitted at this time. It's weird. The declaration of Megan Joyce contains inadmissible testimony. In addition to being late, the declaration of Megan Joyce, like Mr. McRae's supplemental affidavit, contains inadmissible evidence. In addition, the portions of Ms. Joyce's declaration improperly speculate that the font in Mr. Curtis's bank statement was altered. ECF number 39, paragraph 12 to 13. That statement is impermissible expert testimony to which Ms. Joyce, a legal assistant, has neither a proper foundation nor knowledge. See North Carolina General Statute, paragraph 8C-1, rules 602 and 701. So, for anybody who doesn't understand this argument, they're saying that the assistant can't tell that it is not a professional in telling the difference between fonts. So, listen, unless you're an expert on Windows fonts and fonts that are available on the internet, you can't tell the difference between Comic Sans and Times New Roman. And how dare you suggest that you might even be able to know? I'm sorry, I'm making a little bit of fun. In the alternative, the court should continue the hearing on Mr. McCurtis's. God, that's the fan fiction of that's the name of their ship, McCurtis. In the alternative, the court should continue the hearing on Mr. Curtis's amended motion to set aside. The court has scheduled a hearing on Mr. Curtis's amended motion to set aside for the morning of Friday, September 11th. Mr. Curtis has moved to strike Mr. McRae's supplemental affidavit, the declaration of Benjamin Potts, and the declaration of Megan Joyce. I didn't see any reasoning as to why Ben's should be struck yet, but we might be getting there. Mr. Curtis believes that those motions are, I don't know this word, meritorious? What does this word mean? Google, what is this word? I think I can guess, but deserving of reward or praise.
Meritorious.
Meritorious. So, Mr. Curtis believes that those motions are deserving of praise, and that the supplemental affidavit and declaration should not be considered when the court rules on Mr. Curtis's amended motion to set aside. That doesn't sound right. Oh, hold on. North American law of an action or claim likely to succeed on the merits of the case. There we go. Believes those motions. Okay, it's referring to the merits of the case. Thank you, Google. If the court is not inclined to strike the supplemental affidavit and declaration, Mr. Curtis requests that the court continue the hearing and grant him an opportunity to respond to the allegations in the affidavit and declarations. Mr. Curtis vigorously denies any and all allegations of forgery. He was doing that the other day. In Mr. Potts and Mrs. Joyce declarations. If those allegations are considered, Mr. Curtis respectfully requests an opportunity to respond to and refute all allegations. Conclusion. For the reasons stated in this brief, the declarations of Benjamin Potts and Megan Joyce should be struck and not considered by the court in ruling on Mr. Curtis's amended motion to set aside the 10th day of September 2020. So, I didn't see any reasoning in here, maybe I missed it, for why Ben should be struck. But I guess it's part of this, but I still don't see why these. They're not properly served. I don't know. I showed you guys the video. You guys can decide for yourselves if you think that anything was forged. You guys let me know. You saw Ben's signature and you saw the two identical signatures. So you let me know what you think. Certificate of compliance and certificate of service. That was 42. And then court order. State of North Carolina, Guilford County, Stephen McCrae, plaintiff, versus Kyle Curtis, defendant, in the General Court of Justice, Superior Court Division 19, CVS 8163. Order continuing hearing. The court orders the hearing scheduled in this matter on defendant Kyle Curtis's amended motion to set aside entry of default and partial default judgment, the motion, ECF number 30, for Friday, September 11th, 2020 at 10 a.m. continued until Wednesday, September 16th, 2020 at 10 a.m. Instructions for joining the video conference will be provided separately by email to all counsel of record. Defendant is given leave to file response affidavits by 3 p.m. on Monday, September 14th, 2020. The court will, at the scheduled hearing, enter argument of any pending motions to strike. It is so ordered this the 10th day of September 2020. So the court decided to push the hearing from the 11th to the 16th and gave Kyle until, or anybody else, or sorry, defendant gave Kyle until the 14th, 2 days beforehand, to file anything with the court. Now, I know you guys saw my screen before, but you guys tell me, one in the chat, if you think that Kyle submitted anything before the hearing. 2, if you think he didn't submit anything after pleading with the court to allow him to submit things. 1, if you think he didn't file anything. 2, if you think that he filed stuff that he asked to be allowed to file. All right? Just came from Creepy Readings video. Oh, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the creepy reading. That dude is a cool guy. I actually really enjoyed chatting with him. He was fun. They didn't tell me, by the way, that it wasn't going to be video, so I got all dressed up. I was getting ready to go out with nowhere to go. All right, 1 in the chat if you think Kyle filed nothing. 2 in the chat that if you think he filed something before the hearing. Yes, if anybody here hasn't checked out the creepy reading video, go check it out. It was a lot of fun. I was eating Cheetos. Oh, yeah, pretty splits. 1s and 2s. Spicy. So, Kyle was given Burgundy. Yeah, like Ron Burgundy. Please. Jesus, Trick. That's savage. All right. You ready? Let's see. Did Kyle or did Kyle not submit anything before the hearing? The next one. Notice of filing. He did. He submitted one thing, notice of filing. So let's check out what we got. State of North Carolina, Guilford County, Stephen McCrae, plaintiff, Kyle Russell Curtis, defendant, in the General Court of Justice, Superior Court Division 19, CVS 8163. Notice of filing of response affidavit. Pursuant to the court's order of September 10th, 2020, ECF number 43, defendant Kyle Russell Curtis submits the attached affidavit in response to the declarations filed by plaintiff Stephen McCrae on September 9th, 2020, ECF numbers 38 and 39, this 14th day of September 2020. So they waited until the last day and submitted something, which, you know, I'm not going to fault them for, but they seem to have a problem that Steve's lawyer was doing, so, you know, I don't know. Certificate of service. No business rule thing, but whatever. So, they did. Kyle submitted an affidavit. Shall we see what he said? Affidavit of Kyle Russell Curtis. State of North Carolina. Listen, anybody who thought Kyle wouldn't submit anything, it's probably because you're used to him not having a lawyer and lying saying he had a lawyer, but in this case he had a lawyer, so... Here we go. State of North Carolina, Guilford County, Stephen McCrae, plaintiff versus Kyle Russell Curtis, defendant. Let's see. This is 23 pages, so you know what? I gotta run. I'm running out of time. So we'll see what Kyle said next time. And I really hope that you guys actually take a look at, I have here, the hearing. I wanted to go through this before. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. Let's go. Let's just do it. State of North Carolina, Guilford County, Stephen McCrae, plaintiff versus Kyle Russell Curtis, defendant in the General Court of Justice, Superior Court, Division, 19 CVS 8163, affidavit of Kyle Russell Curtis. Kyle Russell Curtis, being duly sworn, states as follows: My name is Kyle Russell Curtis. I am over the age of 18 and I am competent to provide this affidavit. I am submitting this affidavit in response to the declarations of Benjamin Potts and Megan Joyce that were filed on September 9th, 2020, ECF numbers 38 and 39, as detailed below. The declaration contains several false allegations. In my previous affidavit submitted on July 28th, 2020, I testified that beginning of July 2019, I lived at 2543 Anna Garrison Road in Charlotte, North Carolina, ECF number 31.1. I also submitted a rental agreement for that address along with a credit card statement and my 1099 tax forms of 2019, ECF number 31.1 and exhibits B and D. Benjamin Potts is my ex-boyfriend. I have reviewed the allegations in his declarations. Many of those allegations are false and serve only to retaliate against me following a bad breakup. First, Mr. Potts claimed that I never lived with him. That allegation is directly contradictory of my July 28th affidavit and the accompanying documentation. I am attaching further documentation to this affidavit showing that I did in fact live at 2543 Anna Garrison Road in July and August 2019. Anybody who has not seen the interview with Benjamin Potts ought to go watch it. It's on Red Rhetoric's channel. Also, if you look at my playlist, there's a playlist in there. It has that in there if it's hidden, or if it's, by hidden I mean whatever, privated or unlisted or whatever, you can go find it there. The relevant time period for purposes of this litigation. First, I am attaching a screenshot of an Amazon purchase from August 4th, 2019, showing that an order was shipped to me at 2543 Anna Garrison Road. That screenshot is attached as Exhibit A. Second, I am attaching a W-9 form that I submitted to my employer on August 5th, 2019. That form is attached as Exhibit B. I submitted the W-9 form on August 5th, 2019 because of my address change from Pleasant Garden to Charlotte. As shown on the W-9, I reported to my employer that my new address was 2543 Anna Garrison Road. On the last page of that form, I also listed that address as my home address under employee information, a form provided by my employer. Mr. Potts was listed as my first emergency contact on that form. Second, Mr. Potts claimed that I have forged his signature on two documents submitted to the court, the rental agreement and the affidavit. That is false. I sent Mr. Potts a message confronting him about this allegation. In that message, I reminded Mr. Potts of the night on which he signed the affidavit that I submitted to the court with an earlier motion. In response, Mr. Potts did not deny that he signed the affidavit. Instead, he responds, quote, "Good thing you got that notarized while I was apparently drunk," end quote. My message to Mr. Potts' response are attached as Exhibit C. As if that's okay. I have been in contact with my cell phone provider to request copies of deleted text messages with Mr. Potts. Well, I was not able to obtain those text messages by today's filing deadline. Those messages, once received, will show unequivocally that Mr. Potts signed both the rental agreement and the affidavit submitted to the court. Uno momento, por favors. Whew. All right. Let's see. Where are we? Deleted text message. Well, I was not able to obtain those text messages by today's filing date. Those messages, once received, will show unequivocally that Mr. Potts signed both the rental agreement and the affidavit submitted to the court. Those never show up. I am also attaching 2 screenshots from my Zelle account showing that I made rent payments to Mr. Potts in 2 installments on July 29th, 2019 and July 30th, 2019. Those screenshots are attached as Exhibit D. I have also reviewed the declaration of Megan Joyce in which Miss Joyce claims that I forged the address on my Discover bank statement because, in her opinion, the address is typed in 2 different fonts. That allegation is false. Attached as Exhibit E, a screenshot of that same bank statement showing the same address, 2543 Anna Garrison Road. Miss Joyce also alleges that my Discover statement was altered because the USPS barcode on the deposit slip corresponds with a Pleasant Garden address rather than a Charlotte address. I cannot explain why the deposit slip from a bank statement that I printed from my online Discover account would correspond with that USPS barcode to my old address. To be clear, I did not receive that statement by mail. I printed it from my online account. I believe that the barcode mix-up is an error, and I have contacted Discover to confirm that. I was told that Discover's engineering support team will contact me about this issue within 5 business days. The declaration submitted to this court on September 9th are consistent with with efforts by Mr. McRae and the individual bankrolling this litigation for him, that's Ruhif, a multi-millionaire Glenn Williamson, to harm my reputation and my ability to make a living. Attached as Exhibits F and G are 2 examples of such behavior. The first is an email that Mr. Williamson sent to my employer falsely accusing me of forging a court document. The second is a true and accurate copy of a Twitter post in which Mr. McRae publicly states that the hearing on my amended motion to set aside is a mere formality and that he is thinking multiple steps ahead about future criminal proceedings. Weird. Who would think ahead in a court case? Clearly malicious. The filing that I submitted to the court in support of my amended motion to set aside and my earlier motion to set aside are true and accurate and have in no way been forged. Those documents show indisputably that I lived at 2543 Anna Garrison Road in Charlotte on the dates that Mr. McRae attempted to serve me with summons and complaint in this lawsuit. Pursuant to North Carolina's Emergency Directive 5, I affirm under penalty of perjury that the foregoing misrepresentations are true. The 14th day of September 2020, Kyle Curtis. And then we get into the exhibits. I'm going to save the exhibits for next time. We're going to take a look at these because I think there's going to be a little bit more that needs to be explained. I gotta go. Like, subscribe, hit the bell so you can catch the next one. Pass this on to anybody you think will be able to explain or talk more about actual litigation, because I'm mostly just doing reading and talking about events rather than actually analyzing the litigation itself. So if you have anybody who does litigation that would like to cover this, please feel free to pass it to them. Now they don't necessarily have to read it themselves. They can just, listen in the car or whatever. Become a member, become a Patreon if you're interested in supporting the channel and supporting me and being able to do stuff like this. And I will see you guys tomorrow, same bat time, same bat place, and I will also be live at 9 p.m. with some spice. For anybody who is interested, though, I'm going to show you real quick because the next thing that gets covered is the depositions. And the deposition, I can't read through. It's not in that, it's not filed there. You have to go to the court and get that filing if you want it. However, we did get a copy of a transcript of that. So if anybody is interested in the depositions, those are... hearing for the motion to set aside. That is this video right here. So if anybody is interested in that motion to set aside transcript, there you go. The depositions are over on Red's Rhetoric's channel, so if you're interested in that, you can go see that there. But this is the next thing that gets played, so I definitely recommend you go and check that out before the weekend or during the weekend at some point, if you guys are really interested in deep diving this. I will see you guys next time. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Apparently I'm telling people don't do that because I guess that's the way to really get people to subscribe. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean. Thank you, everybody who has been supporting on Patreon. Thank you for everybody who gave super chats. And Puck will receive his boops. I gotta go. I have some family time I gotta go spend. I will see you guys next time. Bye.